So I just want to get my experience out there for anybody who is currently going through something like this or might go through something similar to this. As you can see from the title, I went 95 days without AC. My AC had broken down on April 13th. And I put in the request, like we all have to. I waited week after week. And I would call the office, but obviously just the front desk receptionists were the ones who would talk to me and would just give me the runaround of, oh, if it's there, we'll get to it. Maintenance will get to it, yada, yada, yada. But they never did. And everyone within my circle had already been telling me to go speak to the manager. But I was terrified. The reason why I was terrified is because I've always been a very quiet tenant. I was very low-key. I got to the point where I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to go speak to the manager. Mind you, I had never been put in that position before. I was just learning as I went, I ended up going, right? And I met her. And I'm not gonna go into detail because this is 3 months of excuses. She kept switching her excuses from the part that you need for your AC is back ordered. I go back later, like a week later, for an update. She tells me, we're waiting on corporate to see if they're gonna replace your entire unit on the inside or if we just need a part on the outside. If it wasn't, I'm waiting on corporate's approval, then it was, I don't know where the part is. I literally just kept getting excuse after excuse after excuse. See what the property manager was doing, because I had other things that needed to be fixed. She was trying to just make me happy by fixing everything else but the AC, because the AC was gonna be thousands of dollars. So I was like, okay, whatever. But I'm not forgetting about the AC. You got me fucked up. Seriously. It was very hard suppressing all of those emotions. And the only reason why I was doing that is because, one, I was not aware of my rights. Two, I was terrified to bring attention towards me. Looking back at it, I just had to learn. But I crashed out because a contractor came to fix my bathroom, and he basically told me, yeah, the property manager lied to you about this and this and this. And I'm like, what? If she lied to me about this, she's definitely been lying to me about everything else in the past 3 months. That same night, I contacted 311. But that same night, I also went on YouTube, and that's when I tried to find somebody who had maybe gone through what I was going through, right? I searched no AC, or called 311 on my property manager, anything I could find. I couldn't find anything. The only thing I could find were news reports. I was so terrified. When I called 311, I was so terrified. I was terrified my property manager was gonna kick me out because I called 311 on her. But I knew I was protected. That would have been landlord retaliation, but I had just had it in my mind thinking, I'm scared of her. And I just always had this mentality of she was above me, when in reality, now that I've gone through what I went through, I look at it and I'm like, yeah, she was never above me. She works for the complex. She has to make sure everything is running correctly and smoothly. But she would talk to me very much like I was one of her workers. She really spoke to us like she was our boss. She just had this demeanor where it was if you fuck with me, I'm not gonna help you. And that is why I played the nice card the entire time, but clearly it didn't get me anywhere. So after I contacted 311, they came over, right? And they saw everything. So she got cited. That was Monday, but Friday, the week before, the inspector had tried looking for me because, like I said, I had never contacted 311 before. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I was just answering the questions in the app, right? But nowhere did it say leave your number. So I kind of I missed vital information that they needed. And so he contacted the property manager Friday morning, and she pretended like she didn't know who the fuck I was. And so she hid my unit from the inspector. So that's already like bad on her part. But then he found me on Monday because, let's just say, somebody on the property told me the inside scoop of what had happened, how 311 contacted her. Somebody in the property informed me. They were nice about it and they informed me. So I got with 311 again, updated the information that they needed, and then on Monday morning he came back. He cited the property manager for the no AC. So I was like, okay, cool. But at the same time, yikes. To my knowledge, that was all I knew, right? That was all I knew. Tuesday, the next day, the bitch calls me. I had already crossed that line where I was like, okay, because like I said, I was taking it really slow. I was doing verbal communication first, and then I was like, all right, cool. Shit's not going anywhere. So let me go ahead and switch it to the paper trail. So I sent her an email and I was like, we're gonna start the paper trail, you know? But I kept it very like, for her not to get the picture of what I was doing, I just sent her an email and I was like, okay, thank you for speaking to me, you know, just to recap, blah, 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 blah. And she replied, and then I replied back to her. I had put there how many days it had been already without my AC. So she quickly calls me, and that's when she got out of character and spoke to me like I was one of her employees. And that's when I was like, now I see that you're just a bitch. I mean, you've been a bitch, but like, it just showed right now. And the next day, I met the contractor who was supposed to fix my bathroom, and then he admitted like, yeah, she's been lying to you about everything. I'm like, oh my gosh, crashed out that night, called 311. Next day, 311 calls her. She hides my unit. And then Monday, they come, the inspector, and he cites her. He cites her and says, you need to fix this AC within 7 days. So Monday was the deadline, right? Then the following day, Tuesday, she calls me. And I'm like, bitch, I'm not gonna answer. The fuck? Like, I'm not gonna answer. Especially because the last email I had sent her, because I had sent her an email, I put in the email from like, now on, all communication is gonna be via email. So if you wanna speak to me, like, you have to reply here. Of course, I didn't word it like that, but you know, the gist of it. And she didn't reply. So why the fuck are you calling me? Like, hell no. Like, no. Like I tried the verbal part already, and once I called 311, like, there's no going back anymore at this point. And so I left Wednesday, Thursday. I came back Friday to my unit, and the maintenance men were working on my AC unit outside. So I saw them, and it was some guy that clearly did not work there. I asked him like who he was. Like, I asked him, are you a contractor, or are you like the lead's boss? We kind of had like a little conversation there, and he asked me, so how long have you been without an AC? And I told him, oh, you're not gonna believe this, but almost 100 days. And he's like, 100 days? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, oh my gosh. And I'm like, yeah. And then I was like, I actually called 311 on the property manager, which is why like they're rushing you right now to do this job, because Monday's going to be the last day where they're going to get cited if they don't, you know, do the job. And he's like, oh, okay. Then he's like, okay, well, I'm going to go back downstairs, whatever. I'm not going to say who told me, but somebody working that day there. I'm trying to keep these people safe because they were kind of on my side the whole time. So one of them that was working there, he tells me, yeah, so the property manager's not here. And then I'm like, oh, well, it's Friday. You know, I'm like, it's Friday. Like, it would make sense for her to not be here. And then he's like, no, like, she quit. I was like, what? She quit? I was shocked as hell. And he's like, yeah. And then he tells me, he fills me in. Basically, she was freaking out, thinking that, you know, nobody was going to be able to fix the AC before the deadline. I mean, it was fixed, but she fucking quit. And I was just like, oh my gosh. I cried so much during those 3 months, I cried so damn much. Like, I'm trying not to get emotional right now, but I cried so much because I was so scared that she was going to kick me out. Like, and then being in a situation like that I've never been in, and I didn't know anybody in my life who had been through a situation like that. A property manager like that, a corrupted property manager who did not want to fix my AC simply because she did not want to spend the money. And then I have to even question her boss, which is the manager. Like, I would assume the regional manager who approved the budgets. Like, I don't even know, was he in it as well, or was she keeping it a secret because she wanted to look good to him? I don't know. I was so stressed. Like, I cannot emphasize that. Like, I was so stressed, guys. I was so terrified of her, when the entire time she should have been terrified of me, you know. But I never gave off scary vibes. I always kept it cordial. I always kept it corporate. I always kept it very polite, and I was very considerate to her, you know. Like, and sadly, she took advantage of that. And she probably saw me as weak. But the thing is that, like, I'm not weak. You know? I'm emotional. I'm a Scorpio. but I'm not weak. When I gotta do what I gotta do, I will do it. But I played the nice card. I'm very nice. You know what I mean? But I choose to be nice. I choose to be nice. Like, that's where she got me fucked up. Because it's like, bitch, I was being nice to you when I didn't have to. I was very shocked. I didn't think she was gonna leave. I thought she was just gonna ride it out. I'm still kind of trying to take it all in. I don't know. It's crazy. So she was just a fucking bitch. Like, I don't know how else to put it. She was a fucking selfish bitch. I'm sorry. Not sorry. Now I want to get into everything that helped me. The first thing, like I said, I didn't see this coming, right? So I didn't start my paper trail, or actually I didn't start my paper trail till like the last month before everything just got fixed. But the first 2 months I was avoiding the email because I was giving her grace and just going word for word. The first month I didn't like really keep up with my receipts, but I was able to still go back to the first month and manually look for everything. I didn't think it was gonna ever be like this, but I did take a few pictures of the temperature because I would send it to my family and be like, look how hot it is inside here, right? And I never deleted those pictures. I also went back to text messages that I had with my family, and anywhere where I spoke about the office or a maintenance man coming in, I had to go through all of that. I got the date and the time of when I sent those texts, or like an estimated time, and I started logging everything in a journal. It wasn't until the second month when I was like, okay, the second month was really where I started thinking about like getting the city involved. That's when I was like, okay, if I do get the city involved, I'm gonna have to really have all of this proof. That is when I started to regularly take pictures of how hot the unit was. I would take pictures every now and then. I also took a screenshot of a heat advisory that we had. You know, that's just more proof that this bitch didn't give a fuck. And then I started logging every single time I would go speak to her. I was able to create an entire timeline. That helped me. So yeah, what I would suggest is don't be scared. I think oh gosh, I don't want to get emotional, but I was so scared. Like, I don't know how else to put it. I was very terrified. It was really scary thinking that I might be forced to move out without me having that choice to make. Like, it was forced upon me. And especially when like you're being so considerate It's not cool, right? But at the same time, nobody saw this coming from me. No, I didn't even see it coming from myself, you know? Like, and I think that's what shocked everyone in the office. And I think that's what scared the crap out of that bitch, where she was like, fuck, you know. But yeah, you know, that's what I would say. Like, don't be scared. Look at your resources, find resources if you feel alone. I felt very alone. But you know, it was just so validating when I was talking to all of these people that I was getting in touch with, the city, and you know, about all this happening. It felt so validating knowing like I've never like been in the wrong. That bitch was gaslighting me so bad, y'all. Like, it's literally some psychological shit. I hope that none of y'all ever deal with a property manager like that, but if you do, get informed. You know, look at your tenant rights. It's just so inhumane. You know, it's so fucking inhumane that this bitch left me living like that. You know, it was hard. It was hard. It was mentally draining. It was very hard. And I'm telling you, like, I cried a lot. I cried a lot because it was anger, it was fear, it was confusion, because I didn't know what to do, y'all. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I didn't know. But I came out on top. The bitch is gone. I didn't see that coming. I didn't know I could do that. You know, like, damn. Okay. Yeah. So, like I said, just get informed and don't be scared. And there's so many resources out there for property managers like her. Sadly, it's common, you know, that there's property managers like that. Every single time I had to talk about it to like when I would call like my resources, right, like people and shit like that for help, I would have to retell my experience. And a lot of them would be like, well, did you try talking to her? Did you put in the request? And they would get so irritating because it's like, I literally did everything I was supposed to do. And yes, it sounds very strange that I just put up with it, but I did because I didn't know. But that's why I made this video. That's why I'm putting this out there, because if it can help one person, then that's good, you know. Thank you for listening, and if I helped you in any way, I'm sorry. Also, I feel like I didn't really help. I'm sorry. I feel like it didn't really help. Like, damn, okay, what can you do? I said log everything, take pictures, do the paper trail. Also, I know some people might be like, oh, well, you should just contact a corporate, but corporate would have been the property manager's boss, so I would have been fucked. If you don't feel secure contacting corporate, go straight to the damn city, like what I did. Jump everybody, just go to the city. Go to the city. Regardless, the regional manager is going to be informed, but the people above are going to be informed as well. So, like I said, time log, pictures, email, screenshots of the weather, pictures of anything, video. If the manager starts to, like, you know, talk to you sideways, I would also say phone calls, record them. If you don't feel comfortable, put your phone on DND, because that's what I started doing. DND. You cannot get through me, and if you want, you can leave me a voicemail, but you're not gonna hear back from me. If you have an iPhone and you don't want to put your phone on DND and still get calls from other people, there's a way to customize your DND settings, like one of them, and you can create one where it just blocks the office or like anybody else's like specific phone numbers, right? You can use that. Create the timeline. I don't know if I said that. Create the timeline. Take your time with it. Put every single freaking detail. Even if you think it's too long, it's gonna help. Okay. What else? 311. Don't forget to put your unit number. Don't forget to put your information. You can leave your number, an email. I would also say just be nice. And I know, you know, You're probably gonna be like, well, that didn't get you anywhere. Well, damn it, it got me, you know, the inside scoop of stuff, because I was really nice to like everybody else. I mean, I was nice to everyone. Like, let's not fucking front. I was nice to everyone. I was being very understanding and very considerate and patient towards this woman. Anyway, yeah, like I said, if you've gone through something like this, let me know. If you're going through something like this, let me know. And good luck if you're going through this, but you know, you got this. Bye.